Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Hello, the podcast with me, Jenz, and my co-host, Raammo.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, guys. Episode 57. How you doing, gents?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
That's good. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty tired, but I'm pretty
same.
good. You know, I'm pretty. Yeah.
Just why
I was
we're
gonna
both
say,
on the Red
yes,
Bull today.
we're both up with the energy drinks or whatever. Stock standard with the Red Bulls, honestly.
I just brushed my teeth. Does not going well.
No, it's weird, is it? It's kind of similar to like brushing your teeth and then having orange juice or like any sort of acidic, citrusy type drinks. I feel like it's not a good idea to have after brushing your teeth. Not the best idea, but yeah, no. How was your weekend, Jeds? Because I think you had the more exciting weekend that I did.
Well, yeah, I went to the F1 in Melbourne, which was very exciting. But I am now worried that we are like, I just don't want to get COVID. So I'm just like testing myself and just like,
yeah, any sort of like tickle in your throat is like,
so I don't
you
feel
get immediate, like your gut just drops and you're like, oh shit, like, yeah.
Exactly. So I don't feel amazing.
I was like that when work first, like when sort of New South Wales opened back up a bit more normally, whatever, because I work in a supermarket, for those that don't know. Obviously, I see a lot of people, you know, lockdown or no lockdown anyways. And so, yeah, we went back to sort of like, you know, more and more people coming through the stores. And I just, every time I woke up and felt like, I was like, can I taste the mouthwash this morning? Do I have my sense of taste still like, or just like, you know, why am I coughing? What is this it? Like, it just, everything was, you know, I thought I had it, but thankfully I have still managed to not catch it. So
avoid it. Yeah. Nice.
Knock on wood that, you know, I'd keep that streak up. Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. It was so cool to see like the cars in real life. I just want to be a driver, man. I just want to be an F1 driver, travel the world in a car and not die. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's true. That's the whole aim, I think, is to not crash and, you know, risk losing your life. I get, you're not wrong.
What about you? What'd you get up to?
Nothing.
Nice.
Uni work, I think, honestly. I had a meeting with my group mates or whatever, one of the group assignments we got to do. Yeah. Worked on Sunday. It's pretty stock standard weekend, honestly, you know.
Are you working Easter Sunday?
No, Easter Sunday we are closed, actually, thankfully. So this weekend, from today, actually, from like lunchtime today when I finished, I'm off for the rest of the week. So,
sick.
You know,
that's great, because you wouldn't get a lot of people like doing the rush shop before all the shops close. No,
so today, just as I was about to leave, it was starting to get busy. So I was like, thank God I'm leaving now. But tomorrow, whatever, I was looking at the roster and they have like almost everyone that is available is on the roster for like the service department or whatever. And so I was like, man, they're flat out. They're expecting it to be crazy, I think. So I'm thankful that I'm not working, because technically I do have uni tomorrow, so that's the reason why I don't work on Thursdays. But yeah, I kind of want to just I do need to do a grocery shop, I think, before the weekend, because they do close on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. So it's like I need to get some groceries anyways for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow morning after the Liverpool game, I might just run to the shops real quick and just pop my head in and just say like, hey, how you guys going? Like, are you handling it?
That's like the best feeling. It's when you're not working and you go in and it's like busy and you're like, thank fuck, I'm not
honestly
working.
But like my favorite thing is going on break and coming back and being like, why did you have to go on break? Now it was flat out, and I'm like, hey, I do what the roster says. You know? Like, yeah.
And honestly, they always feel like they can blame you. It's like, hey, I didn't predict it to get busy. It just so happened to be busy when I left. Like, that's not my fault.
We just rostered my tea break at the lunch rush, you know? Like, it just happens. But yeah, no. So I didn't have as much of an exciting weekend as you did. Yeah, nothing too crazy, I don't think. Just been playing more Lego Star Wars, stuff like that. You know?
Oh yeah, you still enjoying it?
Oh, I still love it. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's great.
Worth it?
Yeah, very much worth it. Oh, and actually tomorrow, that just reminded me, thank you. When I do go to the shops, I have to pick up the physical copy of Spider-Man No Way Home, because that comes out tomorrow on like Blu-ray and Ultra and
Oh.
and all that. So I'm gonna pick that up. Yeah.
I remember when we were doing like I was looking up the news for stuff to talk about today. There was something about the Batman Blu-ray and having like extra stuff in it.
I saw yesterday that it was getting like it was getting its HBO release or whatever on HBO Max. The release date was sort of confirmed. And I didn't see anything about what do you call it?
The Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray or anything like that. Yeah, so I wonder when that's coming out. So
yeah.
It does say that so the Batman will be available on April 18th on HBO Max. So that's just around the corner.
Oh, that's quite quick. That's very
next
quick
Monday.
for Batman.
Yeah.
Considering Spider-Man is coming on. Well, is it Blu-ray or did it already come? No, it came out to streaming.
Yeah,
recently.
So Spider-Man came out to streaming last week or the week before.
Yeah.
It was like the 4th or something like that, I think, that it hit streaming services, and like, you know, you can rent it on Google Play Movies and all that sort of stuff. And then usually what will happen is they'll wait a week or two until it comes out, the physical edition. And so that's what they've done, and that's why it's coming out tomorrow for physical. But the Batman, I don't know. I'm trying to quickly gloss over this one, but yeah, I can see that next week, Monday, we're getting it on HBO Max. That's kind of
maybe that's
kind
what
of exciting.
It was.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But yeah,
regardless,
if you haven't seen it yet, maybe it's your chance. It's probably gonna be on binge or something.
Yeah, I feel like binge or Paramount or whatever it is. Maybe I don't know. One of them here in Australia probably. It's well worth it. Well worth it.
We got the season finale for Severance, and that Sci-Fi Apple
tweeting
TV.
About it. Yeah.
I just need you to watch it. Like, I just need everyone to watch it.
Because I get, I think 6 months of free Apple TV with like the PS5 or something like that. So I was like, I might have to sign up for it at some point, because I do want to watch.
Unbelievable.
I do want to watch the football show.
Ted Bundy. No,
not Ted Bundy. I was just about to say Ted Bundy, because I feel like I saw his name in a headline this morning. I feel like they're making a TV show about Ted Bundy.
Oh really?
And they just cast the guy that's playing it, and I feel like that's why I was going to say it.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Ted Lasso. That's the one. Thank you. Not Ted Bundy. Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Sorry. We've watched like, what did we watch? We watched Jimmy Savile's the Netflix documentary about Jimmy Savile.
Yep. Yeah, and Emma did actually add that to the watch list.
I would recommend. I think Emma would love that. I didn't know anything about him.
Yes.
So it was
Emma's seen a bunch of stuff about him before, but I think
she grew up, she knew, like, she's British.
Yeah.
So
why'd you say it like that?
Oh, sorry.
That was good. Yeah, she is British. And so she probably grew up around his whole like era and like seeing him, you know, a fair bit on TV.
She
and stuff
would
like
have heard
that,
about him.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, we watched that yesterday, and then today we're watching Leaving Neverland. So it's like quite a lot for my brain. To go
lots
through.
Of heavy content. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, just because we had never seen Leaving Neverland, and we heard it was like, it's a hard watch, but it's a great thing to watch, because I don't know a lot about, you know,
Is that the Michael Jackson one? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got like these big names in my brain. That's why I said Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
So Severance.
Back on track.
You have to watch it. It is the most incredible sci-fi. It is so unbelievable, and I cannot. I just need you to watch it.
Yeah, I feel like you say that about every TV show that you want me to.
That's true, but they're all great. They're all unbelievable.
I need to watch Severance.
You do, though. You do.
There's so many that I need to watch. Yeah.
I feel like you would love Severance.
It does sound a bit more up my alley than Arcane.
I think it would be more up your alley than Arcane. I think it's honestly up anyone's alley. It is just too good.
All right, I'll have to check it out. I think
yeah.
Oh, I've been meaning to set up like that Apple TV, like I said on the PlayStation. So that might be the final catalyst to after this, after I edit it and upload all this and schedule it and whatnot.
All right, I'm
I'll
not gonna
probably just
ask
go
you to
lay
play
in bed.
games.
I was gonna say we could play games.
No, no, no,
I don't
no,
know.
no.
See, the thing was, I was gonna ask you if you want to play games later because we obviously haven't played in a fair while.
I
But then I was like,
know.
actually, wait, her arm's probably still a bit, touch and go. So I was like, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just let her rest. Like.
But then I want to play games, and
Look, the silver lining is the siege challenges bank these days, so you don't have to like finish them within the 7 days or whatever they are that they're around. You just have to finish them at some point during the season, so it's a lot less stress.
But then now it's gonna be like, I don't know, like a list
you're gonna be
of
overwhelmed.
20 30 challenges. I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah. That's all right. I feel like that would be fun. Like, one part of me wants to do that where I just don't want to do any of the siege challenges for because I finish them relatively quickly most of the time. And then I feel like I'm like, ugh, I'm working towards nothing now. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I feel like, I want to bank them just so I have like a constant stream of at least a week or two of just,
challenge.
Constant challenges. Yeah. But anyways, we've been talking shit for about the last 10 minutes now.
We haven't spoken in like a week.
No, we've both been quite busy, so
yeah, we usually like message in a group chat, but we just haven't been doing that. So yeah, we're just catching up, listener. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning into the Hello Hello podcast. Shall we begin with the news? I just this is a bit of a random one, but I kind of want to talk about it because we've been watching this. We started Station 11, which is basically a pandemic TV show.
Yes.
And so when I saw this headline, I thought it was going to be so cool. So basically, Deus Ex art director reveals a new game about the horrors of humanity. I feel like that just straight off is like, oh yeah, show us how shit we are. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Because that's what David Attenborough does, and I'm fine with that. So Jonathan Jacques Belletete, definitely not saying that right. I'm just
hit the nail on the head with that one, I think, mate. That is exactly how you pronounce it.
I'm just gonna call him Johnny.
Before we recorded, I ran that through the Google Translate, like voice to speech, and she said it exactly like you did. So you got it. Yeah.
Known for his work as art director on Eidos Montreal's Deus Ex: Human Revolution and Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, is making a game called Hell Is Us, which basically is going to be the Rogue Factor is the developer. It's going to be their most ambitious project to date. And usually they do license Warhammer games, and it's going to be quite like nothing like that.
Yeah, that's nothing like that, yeah.
So it's a semi-open world third-person action-adventure game that takes place in a country devastated by civil war and the sudden appearance of supernatural creatures unleashed by an event known as the Calamity. There's always a calamity. Like Breath of the Wild.
I was reading, that's exactly what I was putting together. I was like, can they make, like, obviously it's a very descriptive word for like,
I actually don't know what calamity means.
A natural disaster type event or, something drastic like that. But surely you can think of like maybe a more supernatural or a more like sci-fi type word than calamity,
I guess people
I feel like I've heard that word a lot recently.
I guess it's better than like Armageddon or I don't know, like.
Yeah, because I mean Armageddon again, I would put more towards like a war type like situation, like they rain down like an Armageddon, like that sort of thing.
Like the word calamity, but it's just like it's
it rolls off the tongue very nicely. Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like humans fighting humans, and then this is the post-apocalyptic world of the result of that. But the trailer, there is a trailer that I assume you might put up behind us.
Yeah, we'll whack it up behind us, yeah, for sure.
Which is actually really cool, and like the imagery looks very interesting. It kind of feels like robots versus humans, or kind of like there's something there, I feel.
So some Terminator type thing,
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and like there's this drone thing that comes out and sticks onto like the backpack of a human. It looks really cool. So yeah, no idea when this comes out. So you're welcome for me telling you about this game.
It sounds like it's very early in development still.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like just getting like, you know, the visual aspect of it, like, you know, written out. Yeah. So hopefully sometime soon. With these things though, when you see like typically when I see most ambitious projects to date in a title though, I'm expecting at least 2 to 3 delays. You know, that's just, you know, the pessimistic side of me these days now, especially in video games, like and just normal pop culture these days. You know, movies I feel like are getting delayed all the time.
Yeah,
you know, albums, stuff like anything's getting delayed just because of the way the world is at the moment. So you know, no one's real fault. But yeah, I'm expecting at least 2 to 3 delays on this one. You know, especially if they haven't really made anything like this before too. Like if they're typically doing Warhammer type games, obviously they're very talented developers and stuff like that. But you know,
it might take them a while.
There's probably going to be some hiccups along the line. You know,
The one thing I found really interesting is that there's no map, compass, or quest markers to guide you.
Yeah,
so it's
well,
full.
That's my favorite. Like if it sounds like what it's to me what it sounds like is it's sort of like a survival horror action type game type thing, you know. And like my favorite types of those games are, you know, the Daisies and the Escape from Tarkovs and like those sorts of ones where they really do throw you in the deep end and it makes it truly like a survival horror, you know. Not so much a horror aspect, but you know, like a real survival game because
I know what you mean,
you know, they've described Resident Evil, and I'm sure like, you know, you can turn the difficulty up on Resident Evil and play it, you know, on the batshit hardest one, and it really is a lot more of a survival game then. But like if you play it on normal or even hard, like you find plenty of bullets and ammo and like, you know, supplies to be able to make you last quite comfortably throughout the thing. So it very quickly turns from, you know, the first hour being survival horror where like, shit, I got 9 bullets. And then you're like at the 6th hour in, you've got a whole arsenal behind you. You've got like all the weapon upgrades and it's like, it doesn't feel that scary anymore because it feels like you have all the tools to be able to like combat things. So when they do take some of these tools away from you and make it so that you're really on the back foot a lot of the time, that's when it's like really, you know, gets the heart pumping, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited when they do that. So yeah.
I'm curious how people will take it with absolutely no guidance. I feel like some people might not like that, but we'll see.
Well, that's it for the average person. I'm sure they're probably not used to it, you know, because you put, you know, Call of Duties and, you know, Battlefields and stuff like that. They almost always have some form of like waypoint or navigation sort of type thing.
Yeah.
But and usually the people that do like these type of games are very specific, and these are the only games that they sort of play and seek out. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Who knows?
Oh.
Moving on though, Jenz. Do you reckon how many Red Bulls do you think we'd be able to fit inside an Xbox Series X?
I looked this up, so I don't know if I'm not.
I think it's about 20, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think you could fit 20 cans. Or am I like really jumping the gun?
I think you're jumping the gun.
Surely not. I feel like I saw
They're quite small. Anyways,
the Xbox mini fridge, Jenz, for those at least here in Australia, the pre-orders have gone live as of yesterday and promptly sold out within like an hour, 2 hours, I think. I'm not sure what the stock counts were, but so pre-orders for the Xbox Series X mini fridge, that meme thing that was, you know, announced at the end of last year sometime with no like release date, they opened up yesterday at EB Games and JB Hi-Fi here. And EB Games have already sold out, and as I was writing this up, it did seem like the pre-orders for JB Hi-Fi were still live.
They were.
But
for me,
as I sort of checked or whatever, I couldn't see the page. So I'm not sure. By the time this episode goes live on Friday...
Oh, it's all gone.
Everywhere's probably already sold out. So I'm not sure what we're telling us. But it's very exciting that, you know, they did actually release this because I was kind of excited for it initially, Jenz, and I think you were too.
I was
then I started to see reports come out, like sort of closer to them like actually developing it and stuff like that, that this fridge was going to be quite loud in terms of like, you know, its output and stuff like that. Because every fridge sort of has a base, you know, like sort of operating noise, I guess. And the smaller you go, like in terms of bar fridges and mini fridges and stuff like that, the harder it is. So the more, the less energy efficient it becomes, sorry. So like it has to work harder to cool all of the things inside it. And so I was like, I'm thinking, if I get this thing and I sit like in my office behind me on the shelf or something like that, am I just going to hear a constant hum like 24? And that's what turned me off it initially. Also, the fact that now it's $220 Australian, which is relatively expensive for a mini fridge.
It's actually not that bad
compared to some other ones. Like, but the other ones that I've compared it to, I feel like are like.
Like proper bar fridges?
They're proper bar fridges that are like designed for like going under a butler's kitchen counter or like in the garage. Like they're a bit more like
they're bulkier. They're not as
commercial
good looking.
And exactly. Well, they're functional. Is the whole reason?
That's the thing. Yeah, they're functional and they're well priced for what they are.
Yes. Yeah.
But when because I've been through a whole mini fridge shit.
Yes.
I don't know how long. 220, like after all of that for an aesthetic looking fridge and the size of it is pretty reasonable.
It is a nice looking fridge. I'll give them that. Like it looks...
and it's compact and it looks cool and it's green inside, like, and the Xbox button lights up. But yeah, it's pretty impractical.
We're saying it looks cool. It looks literally like an Xbox box. Yeah. Like you've all seen them. You all know what they look like. So
and I think it can fit like 12 cans or something like that. I can't remember.
Sounds more realistic. I mean, is that? Hang on though. We were referencing Rebel cans.
Oh yeah, Rebel cans.
And so Rebel cans are slightly smaller,
but they are taller.
They're a little bit taller. But I wonder, because that'd be 12 like regular like 350ml size cans, whatever they are, like the typical
or the maybe
can
mini
size you would think.
Maybe the mini.
Well, I mean, the mini ones are the same size as a Rebel can,
but shorter.
Are they shorter?
Yeah.
When's the last time I had a mini can of Coke? I don't know, honestly. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can run to the. Give me a second. I'm gonna run to the fridge because I'm
gonna check my mini fridge.
I got the can.
Yeah.
Okay, so
is it bigger?
Have a 250ml can of vanilla Coke here, which is one of the mini size cans that you can get like in the aisle. Did you just say eel to vanilla Coke?
No.
Coke's the best. Oh, and I have a 250ml can of Red Bull here, and they are identically sized.
Oh. Is this?
They are the exact same size. So.
250.
It might fit more. I don't know. I could be tripping, and there could be an even smaller size that I'm forgetting about.
I was thinking like those like chody cans, like the
That's a really good descriptive word. I like that.
The ones that just fit in your hand. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, kind of like a Rebel can in your hand,
but like chode size.
yeah. Okay, I get you.
Let's just move on. I mean, you can't pre-order. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a decent sized fridge. If you wanted to get it, you could probably get it secondhand now, or like from a scalper. I'm sure the scalpers went crazy when they saw these pre-orders go live. So, if you want to pay probably now $600 for an Xbox mini fridge, you can, because
now the 220 looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's it. That's a solid price now. Moving on, Jenz, did you see this? That Sony has dropped a boatload of cash onto Epic Games, a whopping 1.35 billion Australian dollar investment. So just a couple of days ago now, Sony invested a cool 1.35 billion Australian dollars, as I said, into Epic to, quote, further the development of new digital fan experiences and the metaverse, whatever that means. So it goes on to say that fresh off the heels of Epic Games showing off some impressive new tech, mainly being the Unreal 5 demo that was shown just a couple of weeks back or whatever it was, where they had developers such as the Coalition, which is a Microsoft-owned studio who like develops the Gears of War games, CG Projekt Red, who do, the new Witcher game is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. A ton of big studios were there. And it's totally not clear what this investment is for. We don't know whether it's laying the grounds for like eventual PlayStation exclusivity of games that are being developed on Unreal Engine 5 or other Epic services, or what's more likely is it's beefing up Sony's virtual reality endeavors, because the PlayStation VR 2 is coming out sometime soon. We don't know when exactly. Sony have announced it, and it will probably be this year sometime, but there has been no hard date set yet, so we're still waiting. Representatives from Sony didn't immediately respond about a comment or anything like that, trying to clear up some, questions, I guess, or doubts about it. But yeah, I feel like it would be more so, it does say metaverse or whatever, and metaverse doesn't just mean NFTs and cryptocurrencies and all that sort of stuff. It sort of does mean, virtual reality or virtual type spaces and environments and stuff like that. So it does lead me to believe that it is for content that's going to be for the PlayStation VR 2, or at least that makes more sense, because
like the metaverse still confuses me. I don't quite understand what it means.
Like I like to think that we're pretty young and hip and down with the gens, but it still confuses the shit out of me, honestly.
I just don't understand it, and I think you can get things in real life.
I feel like I understand the concept of it, but I don't understand why. Why would I want a pair of digital Nike Jordan shoes when I could just go and buy a real pair for the real life?
You already have that pair in real life.
Yeah.
Why do you need that? Who are you gonna? I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Like VR chat surely isn't that. Like, people don't care that much about what you wear in VR
I get
chat.
it.
Surely,
yeah. I get it if you play a lot of VR chat or virtually lived in this world. Compared to the real world, but I don't know if my brain would I can't.
It's something that's just out of our realm. I guess we're out of touch now, Jens.
I think so. I think we're
I think we're just that's it. Time to hang up the hats. We're done. But yeah, very interesting. This isn't the first time that Sony as well have invested a fair bit into Epic. They have done this, I think, 2 or 3 times now in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe not to this amount, but a considerable sum of money has been invested by Sony into Epic Games in the past. So, I guess we just got to wait and see, and sort of hope for it being something PSVR related and not just some new NFT that's coming out. Because I feel like everyone would just be extremely disappointed if it was just a spinning PlayStation logo for 1.55 ETH or whatever they call it.
Is that currency?
Yeah, Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
Can't wait to get my ETH card from Combank.
Credit card.
Can't wait till ETH coin comes out.
Wait, what would it be called? Like a NIFT card?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly.
Is it debit or check? No, it's
no.
ETH.
I'm putting it on NIFT. Yeah. Honestly, what a world! What a world! In more Sony news, though, Jens. Apparently, do you remember 2 weeks ago now? Last week, I think it was, maybe, when we could not stop saying PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm. Well,
apparently, after all that conundrum, Sony is still looking into making PS3 games run natively on PlayStation 5. So one of the sort of big discrepancies that was brought up a lot when Sony announced all this update to the PlayStation Plus, all the tiers and stuff like that, and what each tier correlates to and has content-wise and whatnot.
Yeah.
One of the big things that people didn't like was the fact that although you could get PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation Portable games downloadable, and you could play them locally on, whatever device you're playing it on, whether it was a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. If for whatever reason you want to play a PlayStation 3 game, they were done only via streaming on that PlayStation Now service, which had people a bit confused, because how can they get PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable games running natively, but not PlayStation 3 titles, It's a bit weird. And more so for countries that don't have PlayStation Now as a service currently, like us here in Australia, we were just completely omitted from that part of the service. So we don't even get that part, So interestingly, I should say, from an industry insider and frequent tea spiller, Jeff Grubb, who we have talked about before on this podcast, he has come up a couple of times. He recently said on an episode of GamesBeat on YouTube that he believes Sony is still working on getting PlayStation 3 titles running natively on PlayStation 5 consoles. And this process is still underway at PlayStation. So he goes on to say, and I quote, "Since talking about this all week, I've looked, I've asked. It sounds like Sony might still be working on emulation for PlayStation 3 on PlayStation 5. It may take some time." And then he goes on to say, "I wish they would come out and tell us that. Tell us that you at least care about this stuff, because that is what was missing from the PlayStation Plus announcement. To me, it seemed like they didn't care about any of it. They just slapped it together, put a new name on it, and sold it." And I honestly do, like, that statement is basically how I feel too. It seems like it was just a money grab. It wasn't anything new or totally exciting or something that felt like it was worth my time and money, which is why when we talked about the new updates to the PlayStation Plus service, we were still kind of on the fence about signing up for it, Like, for us, Xbox Game Pass was almost a no-brainer. It was like immediately, as soon as that was announced, we're like, this sounds great, sign us up. But PlayStation Plus, that whole announcement, we're like, I don't know, like, what tier do we go for? Is it going to be worth it? Like, what's the point in all this sort of stuff? So it would be nice if Sony to just come out and give us some definitive, yes, it's possible and we are working on it, or just come out and say, no, we're never going to be able to figure it out. We can't do it. It just feasibly isn't possible. PlayStation Now is the only way forward. Get on board, or you're not having a bar of it. Like, just be firm, Yeah. But
Interesting.
It is interesting because, to me, it seems like it's not that hard of a thing to do. If Nintendo can get SNES, NES games, Nintendo 64 games, running on their current devices, surely Sony can figure out how to get PlayStation 3 working on a PlayStation 5. Apparently, it is a bit trickier than just making the game work because of the way that the PlayStation 3 computed things. Apparently, there was something that was very unique to that console on that device that not a lot of other consoles did, which, to me makes sense from like a hardware and, computational point of view. But, sure, there's got to be a better way,
Well, hopefully they figure it out, because it was very strange. Because, like, if they can do it to PlayStation 1, why can't they do it to PlayStation 3? A more later model. But I don't know anything about how they put games on the consoles to know anything about it. But also, I don't know. Like, I don't know if me as a person, I don't know if I would ever play games past PlayStation 4.
I mean, that was like, the thing was, like, when Xbox came out with this, I don't know how long ago now, it's been a good couple of years, but like, I was still playing the Xbox One. Like, I had not yet got my PlayStation 4 or anything like this. So this was probably a good couple of years ago now. And Xbox announced that, like, hey, we're making Xbox 360 games backwards compatible on Xbox One. And also to that, they made a couple of like classic Xbox games also backwards compatible or whatever on Xbox One. And I think the way that they did it was that they used the disc that you had. If you had a disc or whatever it was. So like, the one that I used the most was Skate 3. I had the Skate 3 disc on Xbox 360. And so you would put that into your Xbox One console. It would read it and be like, oh, yep, this is Skate 3. It would then tell the Xbox server, download Skate 3, the digital version, onto the Xbox One, and it would use the disc solely as like basically a verification key of, yes, you have bought this, or yes, you own this physically elsewhere. And so, like, to me, that seems like the easiest way that Sony could do it, because most of, like, the Xbox 360 was around at the same time the PlayStation 3 was. The PlayStation 3 had a digital storefront where you could buy and download games digitally, as well as you could buy them in stores and, take them home and put them in the console physically. So at some point, let's say, for example, Call of Duty World at War existed both physically and digitally on the PlayStation ecosystem on PlayStation 3. You could just download the digital version and use your disc as like a key to say, yes, I own this. Or if you signed in with the same PlayStation account that you had, in 2010 or whatever it was, Sony would be able to see like, oh, yeah, you bought this digitally back then on PlayStation 3. We'll just give you access to it now. And you could download it again. Like, that would make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And like that was the thing too. Like, yeah, I used it a couple of times on the Xbox. Like I played, Skate 3. I maybe played a couple of other games that I had. It wasn't my main, I wasn't doing that all the time, but it was nice to be able to like, you know what, if I wanted to play a little bit of an older game that I had, some fun memories on, I had the option to do that, like, and I didn't have to go and emulate it through PC software or, download a sketchy version of it or something. Like I could just do it, like that. I had to wait the 9 hours for it to download a 4 gig game, but it was possible,
Yeah, totally. I guess the nostalgia of it would be nice.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are just going to be using it for. Like, I almost positive that people that own a PlayStation 5 aren't going to be like on day one,
playing
screw up PlayStation 5. I'm not playing Returnal anymore, ever. I'm only playing the PlayStation 2 version of Crash Bandicoot, Like, I doubt that there are people that are going to do that. So, for more than a week, Like, after a while, the nostalgia's going to wear off and be like, okay, I want to play something new now. Like... But yeah, interesting that it's kind of maybe hopefully still in progress at some point along the way. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. If anything does come out, we'll be sure to, report on it because it will be quite exciting if they do figure it out, because it sounds like that they've had problems with this for quite a while now. But yeah. Anyways, gents, last topic of the week before we wrap up.
Moon Knight.
As always, Moon Knight, episode 2. Now we'll do a little bit of a non-spoiler take first. So if you haven't watched the episode yet and you just want to hear a little bit of our thoughts on it, you should be safe. But after a little while, we will jump into some spoilery stuff. So if you haven't watched it and you want to sort of stay a bit open, maybe call it there. But Jenz, what did you think of Moon Knight Episode 2?
I enjoyed it very much because we got to know more.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it more than Episode 1?
I think so.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, I think. They built on a lot of what they, introduced in Episode 1, obviously.
Yeah, I think that was the nice thing to get that all resolved. They'll be like, oh, okay, I get what that means now.
Stuff's kind of started to make sense,
Yeah, especially for a character that I have no history with. I don't know, like, what Moon Knight is. Yeah. So it's just like, it's nice to finally get an idea of, like, how it all works, what Moon Knight's about. Yeah. So yeah, it's I think it is better than the first one. Yeah.
No, it was a very good episode. It was a step in the right direction, We got to know a bit more about all the characters. We got to sort of see a bit more action and stuff like that. So if you're excited and, if that was one of the things that was holding you back in Episode 1, there wasn't a lot of action or there wasn't a lot of, like, sort of progression. They did pick that up in Ep 2 a lot. So
for sure.
Yeah, it feels like now we're gonna start getting to like the real nitty gritty of the story. Like, now they've done all the catch up. Everyone's sort of caught up and knows what Moon Knight is, how he sort of works, like what the whole concept of it is. Like, it took them 2 episodes to do it, which I think was needed. I feel like if they did all that in Episode 1, you would have been bombarded with like a ton of information that was just be a bit hard to take in. So I feel like they needed to do it in 2 episodes, but I feel like everyone's now caught up. We know what it is, and then tonight, basically, from Ep 3, in a couple of hours, it does go live. We'll be like right into it, Yeah. So, yeah.
Should we talk spoilers?
Yes. If you guys haven't seen Episode 2 of Moon Knight, I do suggest turning off the podcast now just to avoid spoilers. So if that's going to be you, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully you enjoy Episode 2 of Moon Knight. But Jenz, give us your thoughts, because you had a couple of thoughts of all the characters and stuff like that, and it's a bit confusing to me still.
It is. Like, the main question I have now is, how did Mark and Steven become to be? Like, how...
Yeah.
Was Mark someone else? And, like,
I want to know who the real... like,
person is.
Is it Mark or is it Steven?
Yeah.
Like, who is the actual person that's sort of like in control? Yeah. Like,
so that's my main question. It's like, how did this happen? Because it sounds like the god that they work for, the god of the moon, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, is threatening to choose a different avatar which means
different
like
host, and it seems like he's gonna make that like his kind of love interest type thing, Layla, and it seems like Mark/Steven are doing the bidding of this god to save Layla from being inhabited by him, because it obviously it doesn't sound like a pleasant experience to be like controlled by some outerworldly existence or outerworldly person, I guess, and having these thoughts and stuff running through your head and just sort of having no real control about what you can and can't do. And I feel like that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to protect it, obviously, but
the fight scene was really cool to see. It was like,
now
because...
are you talking about the fight scene when he was Mr. Knight, or are you talking about the fight scene when he was Moon Knight? Because there was two kind of different ones. Okay,
both. Because the Mr. Knight,
I really liked the part of this episode that I really liked was the fight scene was cool, but I liked the chase right at the end where he was doing like the parkour across all the rooftops.
Yes,
as
so Moon Knight,
good.
Right?
Yeah, I loved that. It was so much fun.
It was well done, and like that just before that when they shift between I didn't know it was called Mr. Knight, but Mr. Knight to Moon Knight. Yes. You see him put the like proper suit on. Like,
you
almost
see it sort
like
of like
Sailor Moon,
like
just like it's so, and like the material, like the suit looks amazing. Like I love the suit because it's like mummy like bandages.
It's like all the tapestry and bandages that you would expect like a mummy or someone from like ancient Egypt to be like wearing and stuff.
So
like
I love that so much. And the color is really like the moon. It looks exactly like that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see. And then now Steven is trapped, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah, the tables have been turned. That's why I'm very interested in, is like, who is the main one that's in control?
Yeah.
Is it just some, whoever I guess is winning at the time can be in control? Is it one person that is rightfully, in control of the body and is just somehow, being trapped and untrapped and stuff like? I
reckon Steven is the main guy because he did mention like, this is how you felt all these like for so long, and Steven's had sleeping problems where he has to tie himself down. So I feel like Steven is the main guy.
I feel like it's the opposite.
Oh,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I feel like it's Mark because we found like he went. Steven got taken to like that trailer or whatever it was, or the what do you call it? The storage container. Sorry, he got taken to the storage, and like he looked through all of like
that's true.
The passports and the official documents. Like there was birth certificates, there was passports, there was weaponry and stuff like that, of it being like under Mark's name and whatnot. So like that's what it's leading. Like I feel like he is the actual person that's in control.
Interesting.
To me at least, they could be doing a quick one on us and like they pull the rug out and it's like actually it's no one.
Yeah.
His real name's Kevin and. No one knew all along, like.
But it's cool. I'm really enjoying this series.
I am too. I'm very excited for episode 3 tonight. Every week I'm like, I need more. I want more.
Because now we are like, enough of the Steven stuff. We are on to the Moon Knight shit, and we are going to Egypt. It is so like...
Yes. Yes, true. I did see on Twitter a bunch of people were very happy about how they portray. Like, obviously, we only saw, Egypt and stuff like that for maybe 20 seconds tops at the end of the episode. It was very, it was just like, okay, this is where we're heading to next.
Yeah.
Get ready for episode 3. It was kind of like that. But some people, especially people that are from Egypt or, that part of the world, were very happy at how they portrayed it because typically in media, they've always portrayed Egypt as being some very, arid, vast orange. There's nothing. It's very bleak. There's sandstorms going all the time. But in reality, it doesn't look like that. It just looks like sort of any other place. It's just surrounded by these pyramids and, yes, there is desert, but it's not, it's not always orange. It's not always a sandstorm going. It's not always, this moody sort of place. Like it just looks like sort of any other place. And so people were very happy as to how they portrayed it because it looked like what Egypt would look like. If you went, it would just, that's what you would see. So I was kind of like, you know what? nice little tidbit. I like that. You know,
Yeah.
not that I've ever been to Egypt or I've ever experienced it, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can see that, because they had some examples in like the thread that I saw of like, you know, it being portrayed in other media in the past, and it was very much, you know, like it's always very orange and bleak, and like, you know,
it's like
so
Mexico.
It was cool. Yeah.
Everyone portrays Mexico in like this orange.
There's a very stereotyped, you know, sort of portrayal of it. Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, I think, you know, for sometimes they do that for, you know, story reasons. Like, obviously, in film and cinema, you can't portray something as being dry and, you know, all that sort of stuff without maybe conveying, you know, color and things like that. You know, it was one thing we sort of learned throughout English here in high school was, you know, like, obviously blue means, you know, or can mean, you know, like being a bit depressed or a bit blue or yada, yada, yada. Sometimes it just means that it's blue, but like typically that's what they use to convey that sort of meaning sometimes, that deeper meaning. So that might be why they've done it in the past, but it was nice to see them at least sort of cater to the audience that would be from there and would understand it a bit more for what it actually is, you know? Yeah. So I appreciate it, because I think the showrunner or one of the executive producers is from Egypt, so he has like, you know, he obviously has that personal connection to it, and so he can show it for what it is and like what he grew up being in it with and all that sort of stuff. He has that personal touch. I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. I can see that coming through now.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited. We got, like I said before, just a couple of hours now until Ep 3 goes live, so we'll be able to give you our thoughts on that next week. It'll be very exciting, I think. Before we wrap up, Jenz, was there anything you wanted to add on before we go?
No, nothing.
Yeah, no, nothing from me either, guys. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.